If you talk about one person synonymous with junior hockey in Kingston, the Kingston Canadians / Raiders / Frontenacs, it's Len Coyle. Don Cherry has a phrase when he calls someone salt of the earth, and it's a phrase he doesn't use very often. But I think it applies to Len Coyle, that just such a genuine, great person, and was so well liked throughout the hockey world. Everybody that was around Len, enjoyed his company.
I think I was probably 5 or 6 years old when I first met Len Coyle. And I can truly say he's one of my heroes in life. He had a way of ribbing you without insulting you, without trying to hurt your feelings. He was always such a funny guy. And you knew that if Lenny was jabbing you, he liked you.
Lenny is one of those individuals that you meet and you have to know how to take him. He likes to throw verbal barbs, and if you're not ready for that jab and you're not used to it, you kind of go, oh, what did I do wrong?
Len was a day one employee. He joined the team in 1973 as an assistant trainer when they came into the league, and he was around right till the very end when he passed away.
I think he's in just about every team photo for 30, 35 years.
Lenny was very loyal to this franchise. A lot of guys that have come through here in those years have a lot of fond memories of Lenny, and I've never met anybody that has an ill word to say about him, and I don't think he ever had an ill word about somebody. And life wasn't always easy for Lenny. He had family tragedy, and he always seemed to maintain his great sense of humor and his just loved people and loved to make people laugh.
He had a very open, honest relationship with players, and I think they really felt like Lenny was a father figure. Because a lot of players, we have to remember, these kids are 16, 17, 18 years old. They don't always want to talk to the coach or the general manager about some problems or issues they might be having. And they would go to Lenny for advice. And I know Lenny, really went out of his way to mentor a lot of players that played here. And not just on the hockey side, but just to try to give them good, solid life advice.
The stories that people told me about him, that the energy he provided and just a total advocate and a believer in moral support will get a kid over the hump, was the first guy to tap a guy on the shins and, when they're walking by kicking him in the shin, literally kicking him in the shin, or just putting his hand on his shoulder saying, great game, or don't worry about it. When they came off the ice, he was always there.
Lenny's probably the only person in Kingston that I'm aware of that did over 40 years of service with 3 different sports organizations. He was a timekeeper at Queen's football home games for approximately 60 years.
I believe he was 12 or 13 years old, and he used to change the old score clock numbers at Richardson Stadium when it was downtown on campus.
And also historic hockey. Through the local Hockey Hall of Fame, every year we do a reenactment game of 1800s hockey. And Len was the official for well over 30 years and still directly involved right up until the time of his passing for over 40 years.
He would stand in a white overcoat, almost looking like a professor, and ringing a cowbell.
It's phenomenal, and it's a big reason why he's an honored member of the Kingston District Sports Hall of Fame. In my opinion, there should be a banner for him at the Leon Center, because he deserves that more than any player that ever put on the jersey. And for the amount of work and effort he put in over 40 years, and what a great supporter of hockey in this town. You just don't replace people like Len Coyle, and the impact that he had on the city through sports is just unbelievable.